Hello, welcome to episode 72 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm Brad Davidson here with my co-host Raquel. Raquel,
Hello.
how are you?
Good.
Nice to have you in the studio.
Yes.
I'm sure you'd rather be watching your daughter play volleyball, but
Well, I'm going.
oh, right after
Yes,
this.
yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Yeah, my favorite studio, the very masculine studio.
What are you talking about? You've chose this one, Brad.
It's only
Come on.
because I knew the last one was way too masculine.
No, but you know what? I feel like that one will be better than this one for sure. This is not our vibe, but that's okay.
It's good. We're learning.
We are.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. Absolutely.
So this may be the last one you see out of this room.
That's okay though. That's okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, today I wanted to dive into the topic of joint pain.
Yes.
And why this came to mind was early in the week, one of my clients, he's a doctor. Oh, he's been a guest on here, Dr.
Yes,
John,
yes,
Laura.
yeah.
He came in and he's like, it's raining out, it's cold. And he's like, oh, is the barometric pressure getting to you too? I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, joint pain. Are you more stiff and like more joint pain than normal? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's the barometric pressure.
Huh.
So when the weather gets cold and rainy, the barometric pressure is higher and it causes pressure on the joints.
I always thought that was an old wives' tale.
So did I.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I thought that was super interesting.
Okay, so there's validity.
There's validity to
Okay.
it. I just thought it was something we had to deal with.
Right, shout out, Dr. John.
Yeah, learning, teaching me something new.
Yeah.
That guy teaches me something new all the time.
Yeah.
But joint pain is something that I have to deal with a lot myself, my clients.
Yeah.
Because the people that I'm working with are very active.
Right.
They like to exercise a lot. They like to go out and do crazy things. They're hurting themselves periodically doing crazy things.
Yes.
And with that comes joint pain.
Sure.
And I get a lot of questions around, how do I fight my joint pain? And what I found, if you get someone out of joint pain, it's a much better life to live.
Of course.
And so like myself, like I battle, I broke both arms when I was young. So those repeatedly give me problems. I have bone spurs on my feet from being on my feet so much. Those routinely give me problems. And when it's bad, it's not fun.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of explore some of the best solutions I've found to help with it.
Yeah.
Everything from nutrition to cold plunge therapy to supplements to peptides. I've played with it all.
Okay.
So let's start with nutrition. So I've found with people that have a lot of joint pain, a common contributing factor is gluten.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people, if they have a gluten sensitivity, it will trigger joint pain. I specifically had one mentor tell me, especially in the elbows. Oh, that's another problem is I get a lot of elbow pain when I'm lifting.
You're kind of broke down for
I'm
such
super,
a
but I
young
did a bunch
guy.
of stupid stuff. Football,
It's a good thing you're cute,
bobsledding.
Brad.
Oh god, yeah, I walk like an old man. No, I'm just kidding. But when the barometric pressure is high, I definitely feel my age.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of correlation with people that have a lot of joint pain that can never really resolve it. That gluten can be a big trigger for that.
Wild. Gluten is not good for anybody, I've decided.
Well,
it's
from my experience with testing, like 22% of people I did testing on had gluten sensitivity.
22.
Yeah.
I would have
I'm
thought
talking-
that was higher.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure 22% of the population, that's a lot of people. They say blonde hair, blue eyes are the most likely to have it.
Interesting.
And then anybody with light eyes after that are more likely to have it. I don't know why. I don't even know if that's true. That's just what I've heard. But I have seen it in my work. It's like that's the more commonality. So someone has dark hair, dark eyes, they're the least likely to have it.
Because we're making tortillas.
Yeah.
We love our tortillas.
Flour tortillas.
Those are yummo.
So if you're someone that deals with a lot of joint pain, I would highly recommend trying a gluten-free diet. I've had a lot of success with that. But here's the thing is if that's you and you go gluten-free, you got to go gluten-free always.
Right.
So they say like a 16th of a fingernail, if you're that sensitive to gluten, is enough to trigger a negative response.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
so that's things being prepared around it and maybe...
Yeah, you got to be cautious with it.
Yeah.
There's a lab out. I've never ran it on myself. I've just heard about it. It's called Cyrex Labs. They have the best gluten testing out there.
Okay.
And it's really cool. If you can find a doctor that does Cyrex Labs, it's awesome. The doctor that I used to know that did it he's no longer in practice.
Okay.
So it's a hard one to find, but it's a phenomenal one. So if you're someone who's really concerned about gluten, try to find somebody that does the Cyrex Labs.
So this is not showing you if you have celiac. This is showing you sensitivity at all.
Yeah, sensitivity at all. Yeah, any type of sensitivity.
Got it.
Yeah. To truly be called celiac, you have to have a biopsy of the small intestines.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is my son was having a lot of food allergy issues early on. And he had a lot of the lab markers that showed celiac, but they wouldn't diagnose him as celiac. We had to have him when he was little go and have the test done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
felt so bad with that
Yeah.
one, but we needed to know because he was having his inflammatory markers were so high.
Yeah.
This was a period of his life, but if you get a cold, it would turn into crazy asthma and he'd end up in the hospital. Like literally, I mean, one time, I think 3 or 4 days in ICU because he almost died from it, from the common colds.
Right.
So we had to do everything possible to do everything we could to get his inflammation markers down.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I knew, like, and my dad had it done, and I think they found he was celiac because he was having a lot of issues with gluten.
It's not the wheat that it once was. I think that's the problem, right?
I've had people that are celiac go to like Italy
and
accidentally have some gluten and they're fine.
Yeah.
And so they start enjoying it.
Right.
And they think they're no longer celiac and they come back to the United States,
like,
think they're no longer celiac, have a meal and almost end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be careful with that.
Yeah.
There's definitely something different about our wheat here. So that's the most important thing I've seen from a nutritional standpoint is that. To make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And I like to use the electrolytes and things like that to make sure you're absorbing the water because, you need water around the joints in between the disc vertebrae, things like that. Think lubrication. So that's super important. When it comes to supplements, I found a few that I really like. Curcumin is probably one of the best. It's a great anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
It's probably the one I've had the most success with. But it has to, if it's curcumin, most products need a little black pepper extract in the curcumin to be able to absorb it.
Is that typical that they
Typically a good curcumin will have a little black pepper extract in it. I like Thorne's curcumin because it's a form is called Mariva. I don't know if it has a black pepper extract in it, but why I like that one is because it also passes the blood-brain barrier and brings down brain inflammation. So the first place I have people start is get gluten out and take curcumin. And typically it's around 1,000 milligrams twice a day, like with breakfast and dinner.
Yeah.
And that usually is kind of a home run. I'd say 75% of the time.
Wow.
It really helps solve that. Outside of that, from a supplementation standpoint, there's lots of stuff out there. It's all been hit or miss outside of the curcumin. I think fish oil is another really good one to add in. And I like it to be around 3,000 milligrams of a mix of EPA, DHA. And the best way I found to get that is through liquid. It's a lot of pills. And pills are hard because if they go a little bit rancid, you'll burp fish oil back up. It's miserable.
Yeah.
I found one called Wiley's Wild Alaskan Salmon Fish Oil or something like that. I bought it off of Amazon, but it's really clean, it's liquid, and it's very high concentrate.
And you need it to be not farm. You want it
you want it to be like wild caught fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, aren't there some heavy metals in some of those though?
Yes and no. I think there's a lot of testing around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably depends on the company you're going with.
Yeah, you want quality matters.
Sure.
Yeah. So if they're farm raised fish they're using, you're more likely to have heavy metal issues with it. If it's wild caught, less.
Yeah.
I've also learned with heavy metal toxicity, the white fish tend to carry much more mercury toxicity than dark fish.
Hey, but wait, swordfish is really high, and that's dark.
No, it's white. That's white meat fish.
Swordfish is white?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was dark.
Nope, it's white. It's white. So swordfish is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Tuna's the second biggest one.
Really? Okay.
That's why you got to be careful, like eating cans of tuna fish.
Yeah.
You got to be real careful where you're getting your tuna from.
Okay. Okay, that you just blew my mind with the swordfish as a white fish.
Yeah, that's one of the worst ones you can have.
Well, I knew it was one of the worst ones, but I didn't know it was.
But it's because it's the white fish. They for some reason tend to absorb more of the
sea bass. No bueno.
I think that's a no bueno one too.
Really?
Yeah.
All the ones I love.
Yeah, or you just got to eat less of it. Halibut would be another one. Yeah, anything that's white fish is more likely going to be have a heavy metal toxicity issue. Yeah.
Wow.
But wild caught, that's getting into the weeds with things.
Yes,
but,
for sure. Well, I like to do that,
I know you do. Most people do. They like to stress themselves out with all the information out there. Yeah.
I'm good like that.
Now they're dealing with crazy amounts of stress over all the what ifs and yeah. And then the next thing I want to talk about is peptides.
Okay.
Because I've seen these work phenomenally well.
For joint pain.
Pain. BPC 157, I've known about this one. I learned about it from Charles Poliquin 20 years ago. I've seen some profound things with BPC 157. It's basically about 500 milligrams a day. I typically have people do it 5 days on, 2 days off. Okay, not me because I can't recommend people do that, but the doctors I work with typically have myself and my clients do that. There's another one called, so that one works phenomenally well.
Is that only an injection or is that available as a capsule?
So there's multiple ways to deliver it now.
Okay.
The ultimate way, Dr. John Lord does this.
Yes.
I've had it done once. It's an IV bag. So it's a high dose of BPC 157.
How long does that take?
I had him do it to me. It took maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, that's
15,
it.
20
It's not
minutes.
like the NAD thing that's
No,
3 hours
no.
long.
It's not long and slow.
Okay.
It's pretty fast. It gives you a
Okay.
really nice flush feeling.
Okay.
I felt like no pain for 3 days after having that.
Really?
And he recommends, I think you go in, you get like 3 bags in a short period of time, and then like
Okay.
1 periodically. Or from there, you can go into like sub-Q injection.
So how pricey is that?
I don't remember. It's expensive, but
Okay.
you're getting a ton of it all at once.
So it's not like you have to do the injection every single day when you're doing it that way.
IV is just 1 IV, and you're getting a huge push of it.
Okay,
You're
got
getting like a whole vial all at once.
Wow. So worth it.
Yeah.
But I wonder, is this like $1,500? Is it $500?
I don't know. I'm not sure the price. I'm sorry. I should
Need to know this.
Yeah. But then the next thing you can use is subcutaneous or injecting it in the fat, about 500
Which is what
milligrams.
most people do, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
But we gotta have Dr. John on again. He was talking to me about he started playing with it intramuscularly, and he's noticing it's working even better.
Wow.
Yeah. So typically it's subcutaneous.
Yes.
So it could be like on the belly, under the arm,
Yeah.
the fattier part of the thigh.
Right.
But he's now starting to find that it works really well, even better intramuscular.
Okay.
At the 500 milligrams.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, that's a daily.
That's a daily, like 5 days on, 2 days off.
Got it. Okay.
Like up to 8 weeks, I think they
Okay.
recommend.
Okay.
That one works really well. There's also now capsules and chewables. I don't know much about the capsules. It's Dr. John. I was asking him about it because I found some chewables that I really like. And I know the guy who make it is Dr. James Laval. He's like a super freak pharmacist that like specializes in peptides now. He came out with it. It's hard to get enough of it via like the capsule or the pill.
You're swallowing a bunch of horse pills.
Well, you're taking 500 milligrams of it, but to be able to ingest it through the stomach is really hard, so you don't get as much out of it versus like injection, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Which most of the scenario, that's always the case.
Yeah.
Is you're gonna get a lot more of whatever you take via an injection versus a capsule.
Sure.
But that's pretty awesome as well. If you hate injections but you want to try it,
Yeah.
try
Be a good
like
place
a
to start.
chewable or capsule, something. But something's better than nothing, I
Right.
think. The next one that I really like is called TB500.
Okay.
And actually, I've done BPC 157 and TB500 in conjunction with each other for 8 weeks. TB500 is a little more potent. You do 1 injection twice a week.
Okay.
So you do the BPC 157, 5 on, 2 off, the TB500 twice a week for 8 weeks. That was a phenomenal reduction in inflammation. I actually had somebody put me on that one because I was having some long COVID issues from inflammation. And that actually really helped. So I liked it. There's now a new one that's out that's kind of out. I actually just ordered it because I'm going to try it. It's called Wolverine.
Ooh.
So it's those two.
Of course you like that.
Yeah, it's those two with a third product. I don't remember what the third product is.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it yet. I just ordered it, and I'm going to start reading up on it.
Okay.
But it's one you take twice a week. You can do the BPC 57 along with it. But Jay, my business partner in the weight room, parsed it towards bicep.
Right.
And he started using, another thing you can do with like the BPC 157 is you can inject it right into the injured areas.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've never done that. That sounds sketchy to me, but like if that's an issue, talk to a doctor.
Right,
Like,
right.
If I was going to do that, I'd go right to Dr. John and be like, how the hell do I do this?
Yes.
So I was doing it correctly, but like he had Jay, so Jay started, I think, with a couple IV bags and then started injecting right into the bicep. And like literally he has doctors and therapists calling him, wanting information on what the hell he did.
Really?
Because by the time he got his MRI done, there was massive amounts of healing that had happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I believe he used the Wolverine one. So I'm super fascinated to try that one to see how well that helps you feel.
Well, you name anything Wolverine and a guy's going to
100%. Greatest name ever. Yeah. Another interesting one is actually semaglutide.
For reduction of...
Yes.
Okay.
Microdosing, like trizepatide or semaglutide, at microdosing levels is phenomenal to bring down inflammation. Yeah.
Okay.
But like we're talking much lower dosages than what they're giving people for weight loss.
Right.
You're still going to get that benefit with the higher dosing, but if you're looking at it, using it for, I actually bought some to try it. Here's how I like to work: is I like to mess around with everything and see what works, what doesn't work. I like to experience it before I ever have people use it.
That makes sense.
The thing with trizepatide makes you nervous is, the negative impact on digestion, the loss of appetite. But how I've read it and how I've learned, I've asked a lot of doctors about it. If you microdose, it has no impact on that.
Same with the osteopenia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because that stuff comes from malnutrition, from not being able to eat.
Okay.
And I don't want to lose weight. I don't want that realm to happen.
Yeah.
But what intrigues me is how powerful, and it's been around for years too.
Right.
Is how impactful the microdosing can be on inflammation. So I know other people that have tried, they've told me about it from a microdosing standpoint and how much better their joints felt when they were taking it. So that's kind of the gist of it. That's kind of the where I'm at. There's a ton of new peptides out that I haven't got into exploring yet. But the ones I just talked about, I know work very, very well. BPC 157 is the one I like the best. I think it's.
Is that something, you know how my shoulders kind of give me fits every now and then. So is that something I could try for that?
100%.
And then, but is it something you have to be on forever?
No. No. I only take it periodically.
Okay.
I'll do it for 8 weeks periodically.
Okay. But then does it go back to how it was?
Depends on how I treat my body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I get into overly abusing it. Yeah, I'm training with Garrett right now, my NFL lineman.
Oh, Lord.
Love this guy, and he's on me and like give me a hard time when I'm not pushing too hard. And in return, my joints don't like it. So that's why I'm on.
Because you're not the same age as
BPC 157.
his.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try the Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's because I love training with him. It's such a great experience.
Right. Not many people can say that they get to do that.
100%. Yeah, and he has so. I can see how much more respect he has for me. That everything I'm asking him to do, I'm doing.
He knows you can do it.
Yeah, he knows I can do it, even though I'm 49, and so it's part of our great relationship.
That's awesome.
But I'm like 6 weeks in with him. Like I put on like 8 pounds. Like we've been getting after it.
Okay,
like,
that's annoying, Brad. Your body responds so freaking.
Well, but I was not training nearly enough prior to me jumping in with him.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty bad. But to have that kind of response, just all that tells you is that I wasn't doing a whole lot before I jumped in with him.
Yeah, but I've been around you for a lot of years now, and your body does not swing that much.
Yeah, but
you're fortunate.
Yeah, and the one thing I've consistently done since I was in 8th grade is lift weights.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that has always kept me in the game. Even if I'm not training a lot, I'm still lifting. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm such a big believer of, I think that's the biggest game changer.
For anyone.
I
agree.
And I think that's why at 49, because I've consistently done it since 8th grade. Mm-hmm. I believe that's why, because my system's pretty efficient with everything and runs pretty well because of that. So when I'm eating poor, yes, you can see if you look at me when I'm not doing well and not eating well and not training as much. But it's not like a holy shit, what happened to you thing.
Yeah, right.
It's, I see it because I know my body.
Sure.
But, and then when I like get really focused with it and dial it all in, it responds pretty well as well.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm such a avid pusher around, you got to lift weights.
Right.
And I routinely see people that move, like, for example, you, that move into that arena, like just how much better they get.
Yeah.
How much just better they live life, how much better they respond to things, how much better they handle things. I had someone tell me they went and tried spin.
Oh,
they had
after our podcast.
After our podcast,
and
she said it was super easy.
Who?
Her name is Ursula.
Okay, Ursula Breger.
Oh yeah. That's right. I forgot you know her.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's been lifting with us at the weight room.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's part of our 9 a.m. group. Yeah, and she went and did it. And she was blown away with how easy it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. So she was like, "Oh my God, I believe in this weightlifting stuff even more."
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and she's had joint pain, a lot of joint.
Yeah.
And she's
she's badass.
I love her. Yeah. I love her.
Sorry, Ursula, but this is what I love about my people. Yeah. She's in Cabo with her daughter, her and her husband with the daughter, the friends for spring break.
Yes.
Having a good time. And like, she sends a video to all of us, our 9 a.m. group, of her getting a workout in. Like taking a lunch, like having lunch, and then she's working out. Send us a video getting the workout in. Yeah, she's down there. Yeah,
dedicated,
super dedicated. So, like that's so awesome. The parents are going down to Cabo and hanging out. That they're cool enough to be able to go with the daughter and the friends to hang out at spring break.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of kids I know who would invite their parents to come for spring break.
It might not be an invite. It might be we are coming to make sure things don't go squirrely.
I don't know. By the pictures, it looked like an invite. Did it? Okay,
good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. She told me she's all excited. She tried the spin, and she was blown away with how much easier. She thought it was going to be hard because she hadn't done it for a long time.
Right.
And she killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I tell everyone, the way we train, it doesn't feel as hard, but there's a lot of benefits going on.
Yeah.
And you won't recognize it until you go try something that used to be hard to see that, Well,
after my workout yesterday, I took a nap. So there was that.
You're in a big strength phase. Those are really hard on the nervous system.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I need a nap.
Yeah, and I didn't shy away with the weight lows I was having.
No,
to
you were
use.
kind of mean. You were kind of mean. Truth be told.
The love-hate thing. You're
Yes.
welcome.
No, I know. Exactly. No, honestly, if like shoulders never bothered me, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's the thing that kind of. So
I
that's
think
why
exploring the BPC 157 might be a good thing for
I
you.
want to do that bag thing, but
Yeah.
it's probably $1 million hairs.
It's expensive, but not like it's not $1,000. I don't think.
Well, watch it be after
Yeah.
you say. I'm going to have to look into that. I'd
Yeah.
like to see if it
Yeah,
is.
so I know he does them.
He does them at his practice.
At his office.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's other people that do it as well, but he's the only one that I know in the area. That
Oh, really?
Does it,
No,
that
Gino.
does the
Gino
IV
doesn't
bags.
do it.
He might. I would check with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
I love that. Okay. Was there anything else so nutrition, peptides, anything else for this?
Oh! I'll give a great training tip.
Okay.
So the faster you move weights. So if you watch our videos, I've talked about this before. It looks boring as hell.
Yeah. Right.
Because everything's controlled.
Yes.
Everything's like a slow down,
Yes.
fast up.
Yes.
What I've learned is that if you move weights fast, it's harder on the joints. When you control weights, there's less stress on the joints, more stress on the muscular system. That's why we like to lengthen slow, shorten fast to protect the joints as much as possible, but also to challenge the muscle more than normal. When I was training for the bobsled team, it's a lot of heavy, fast lifting because you're trying to be really powerful.
Oh, okay.
And my old coach, Chris, basically what he would push me until my joints became just so unbearably sore and to deal with.
My God.
And he'd put me in a super slow protocol phase. So like 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up
Wow.
for like 3 weeks. And just slowing the tempo down would
Right.
drastically help my joints.
Interesting.
So if you have bad joint pain, you want to lift weights, just lift them slower and you're going to find some joint benefit there.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Training fast is very hard on the joint and ligamentous system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How difficult is that for you to get your people to get on board with the slow tempo?
It's hard because it doesn't feel as cardiovascularly challenging. That's the biggest issue. Is people are used.
I think it's so much harder to go slowly.
Once you like for example, I just had a lady that I'm working with. For the first 12 weeks, it was all kind of body comp stuff. So upper lower splits, a little faster tempo, short rest periods.
Yeah.
And she did amazing.
Right.
And she's middle aged. I don't know. She looks great for her age, whatever it is. I said, hey, look, it's time for us to start building some muscle. And so we went into more of a like 4 seconds down, fast up, lots of rest.
Right.
And like most of my females, she's like, this resting part's really hard. But we get to the very end of the workout, she's like, this is so weird. Like I feel great, but my body is just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But my energy's good. I'm like, that's the difference is we just challenged your muscle, not your cardiovascular system. So she's like, this is awesome. She was all excited about it and like ready
it's
to put a little
definitely
bit of muscle
weird.
mass on.
It's definitely different.
Yeah, we are going after challenging the muscular system more than like the cardiovascular system. And it's hard because like it doesn't get your heart rate up as high. So you don't look like you burn as many calories and people struggle with that. Oh my God, I'm not working hard enough.
Right.
And, it's just honestly not the case.
But it's exciting to see what you put on a bar increase. You know,
Yes, it's very empowering.
What you can lift is
One of the biggest things I want with the people I work with is to empower them to live a bigger life.
Right.
To live a little more bold, a little more out loud, a little more confidence because they know that they're stronger.
Yes.
It's so good for the confidence.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is muscle mass that has been challenged with weights over time is the most metabolically active tissue you can have. What that means is that when you're sitting around doing nothing, you're burning more calories with that tissue than any other type of tissue.
Right.
So there's a big benefit there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I still think cardio is important, periods of time to help keep the cardiovascular system strong, the heart strong and all that. I don't look at cardiovascular stuff as, okay, this is how you go lose weight and body fat. In the beginning, you're going to lose a little bit of weight, yes.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to lose body fat, it has to be like muscle mass oriented, muscle training oriented.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Sweet.
I'm on board.
Love it.
Yep. Well,
All
thank
right.
you, Brad.
You're welcome.